Hey, Blue Table fans! Today I am excited and proud to show you a group of Stonehorns and Thundertusks, which are painted up for Warhammer Fantasy Ogre Kingdoms. And let's go ahead and dive in. So this one kit makes two different types of figures. One is the Stonehorn, which is this guy, and all his skin has been sort of beaten off of the skull, which is made out of rock. Something like that. And then these Thundertusks, these guys breathe these icy blasts of frosty air, so they have like a breath weapon to them, and they're definitely really weird looking, and we're going to take a closer look. In the meantime, here's a regular ogre for scale down here, and somehow crossing dimensions is this Cadian guardsman. So just to give you an idea of how big these models are, these rectangular bases, which are for Warhammer Fantasy, are 4 inches by 6 inches, and they're really hard to find, and they're not cheap. So let's go ahead and just dive in and take a look at these two Stonehorns. I'm very pleased with how they turned out. I've done just a little bit of conversion work on them to make them unique. This guy, he's got this paymaster type chest on the back there, and I converted up a little bit more horn. He has bolts for his harpoon launcher or whatever's it is up here. And by the way, I'm super pleased with how these guys turned out. They're a great example of the BTP layered organic method. Let's go ahead and just dive right on in there. Yeah, there's more conversion works here. This is from Space Wolves. This is, I can't remember what kit that's from. It might even be from the Ogre Kingdoms kit. And they've got these really cool jawbones back here. By the way, this is a really amazing kit. And I've seen orc beasties be created out of it. We've done a lot of extra base work down here with good corking. These still haven't got all the static grass and foliage that they're going to get on them. Now, every model kind of has these same types of shield, beaten brass and metal shields on them, so I tried to paint each one a little bit differently to make them each look like a unique creation. And yeah, this kit is just really cool. It comes with a lot of different variations. I also changed up the tail on this guy because some of the versions of the tails break off for like no reason. So if you're the client here, you got to be careful with that. And let's go ahead and just move this guy out of the way permanently and take a look at this other guy. Now this is the tail that they normally can come with. They have several options. It's sort of this bone spine thing. It's not really going to focus in on that, but oh well. And again, we've got a lot of great colors and earth tones. Minimum 6 layers of stuff going on here. And the more layers you put on something, the more realistic it starts to look. And yeah, I'm super pleased. The gray on their horns is, I do believe, Vallejo London gray, maybe with some somber gray, which has a little bit of a bluish tint on it. And I'm really pleased how this guy's insectoid horn gut plate turned out. It's really cool. And I took this what is it? It's like a skeleton in a cage, and added that. That looks really cool. And let's go ahead and just oh, by the way, that's from the giant kit, and this army has a giant in it, which we constructed for this client. I had I had like this rib cage with skulls in it from another kit, and so that's on there. This is from the Games Workshop Skulls kit, this little Beast Man skull there, so that's really cool stuff. Tons of earth tones. The only thing I might change on there would be to make their pants like a very dark, maybe slightly brownish blue color like they are in the stock art. But once you add that color, all of a sudden now you're like calling attention to their pants. And quite frankly, these guys are an homage to earth tones, and they look really, really, really super good. And the guys, of course, stick out, the riders, because of their skin, which is a much lighter color. Now let's bring into view these two Thundertusks. And again, some really cool base work here. This is from the giant kit. It's this dragon skull. And these creatures just look really, really, really unusual, and I just love it. They've got like this chin spike, obviously the two giant mow people down horns on them. And then, of course, if you look in here, you can see their face, a bit of a pug face. And these guys have very light fur. That was a request by the client. And this guy has this conversion up here, which is, of course, comes in the very kit. It's the Stonehorn, and worked together with this like icon, and it works out really well. There's definitely a lot going on there. This guy has a buzzard on his arm, and that, by the way, will break off at the ankles for absolutely no reason, so you have to be like super careful with that. And but it is pretty easy to glue back on. Again, the little shields and stuff that are all beat up and rusted and whatnot. On one of them, I added like actual color as if they had been enameled. So I'm really pleased with how these turned out. I tried to give not just white, straight up white fur, although it is highlighted up to actual white. Excuse me. But it's very dirty. There's a lot going on in there. Some flesh tones and distressed flesh and stuff like that. So these guys are really cool. They have loads and loads and loads of really awesome details. I'm really proud of how they turned out. By the way, this camera is starting to get old. It's probably like 8 years old, so sometimes it snags, and quite frankly, I don't want to do the video over and over again. So if that happens, just be patient and enjoy what was done. And this guy is like throwing a bear trap, and I got lots of really awesome earth tones and rust and weathering on that. It made me very happy. So these guys, they turned out really good. They are pleasing me. They look like they're about to walk right off that base. And definitely a lot of really wonderful colors and details and subtleties going on with them. So there you go. That's what I wanted to show you today. It makes me very pleased. I can't wait to see this army all together. It's going to be done in the next day or two. And we're definitely in the massive home stretch for these guys. All right, well, I hope you've enjoyed. I'm around, and very pleased with how things are progressing. Thanks for tuning in, and I know you got your inspiration for the day.